Can you truly believe it? A defensive powerhouse, a player who commanded a staggering $110 million contract just last season, suddenly finds himself cast adrift, cut loose by a franchise that barely had him for a year. It sounds like the plot of a Hollywood sports drama, a twist so improbable it defies belief, yet here we are. Christian Wilkins' shocking release from the Las Vegas Raiders has sent seismic shockwaves reverberating through the entire NFL. And if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, you might just be witnessing your team positioning itself to strike gold in the most unexpected of circumstances. This isn't just another off-season rumor. This is a high-stakes gamble, a potential game-changer that could redefine the defensive landscape for a franchise hungry for dominance. In a league where every dollar, every roster spot, and every health update is meticulously scrutinized, the sudden availability of a player of Wilkins' caliber is akin to finding a diamond in the rough, albeit one with a few intriguing facets. The question isn't whether he's talented, that's beyond dispute. The real drama lies in the why, the how, and the monumental risk-reward equation that now faces any team bold enough to pursue him. For the Falcons, a team in the midst of a defensive overhaul, this isn't just an opportunity, it's a test of their nerve, their foresight, and their willingness to embrace calculated chaos. Let's rewind the tape to March 2024. Christian Wilkins was the undisputed crown jewel of free agency, a defensive tackle so dominant, so disruptive, that the Las Vegas Raiders didn't hesitate to shower him with a massive $110 million contract, a testament to his elite status. He was a force of nature, a wrecking ball in the trenches, capable of single-handedly collapsing pockets and stuffing run lanes. Fast forward now, a mere 12 months later, and that very same franchise has cut him loose after just one season. The whiplash is almost dizzying. What in the world happened? The answer, as is often the case in the NFL, lies in a complex cocktail of unforeseen injury concerns and a series of organizational decisions that have left one of the league's premier pass-rushing defensive tackles searching for a new home. Meanwhile, the Miami Dolphins, who watched their homegrown star walk away just a year ago, now see him become available again in the most unexpected of circumstances, a bitter pill to swallow for a team that valued his presence so deeply. It's a tale that reads like a sports drama script filled with twists and turns, but the reality is far more complex and potentially lucrative for teams willing to take calculated risks. Enter the Atlanta Falcons, a franchise in the midst of a defensive revolution under the shrewd guidance of head coach Raheem Morris. The timing couldn't be more intriguing, almost poetic. The Falcons are coming off a season where they watched their longtime defensive anchor, the beloved Grady Jarrett, walk away in free agency, leaving a gaping, undeniable hole in their defensive line that has yet to be adequately filled. Jarrett was more than just a player. He was the heart and soul of that defensive front, a consistent Pro Bowl caliber presence who commanded double teams and elevated the play of everyone around him. NFL insider James Palmer's revelation about Atlanta's genuine interest in Wilkins isn't just idle speculation. It's a strategic match made in football heaven, a puzzle piece that fits perfectly into the vision Morris is trying to build. The Falcons have been desperately searching for that game-changing presence in their 3-4 defensive scheme, that interior force who can disrupt offenses from the inside out. And Wilkins represents exactly the type of disruptive force that could transform their entire defensive identity from solid to truly elite. Currently, rookie Rooker Hororo is slated to fill Jarrett's massive shoes, a daunting task for any first-year player. But let's be honest with ourselves. Asking a rookie, no matter how talented, to immediately replace a veteran of Jarrett's caliber is like asking a substitute teacher to perform brain surgery. Hororo has shown flashes of potential, moments of brilliance that hint at a bright future, but flashes don't win championships. Consistency does, relentless pressure does, and that's exactly what a healthy Christian Wilkins brings to the table, a proven, consistent, and dominant presence that can anchor a defensive line for years to come. Here's where the story takes a dramatic, nail-biting turn, the health gamble that could define a season. Wilkins' release wasn't solely about performance or salary cap issues. It was fundamentally about significant health concerns. The defensive tackle has reportedly been dealing with an injury that typically requires a 3 to 4 month recovery period, a substantial chunk of time in the unforgiving NFL calendar. And, according to insider reports, he still hasn't fully recovered from the procedure he needed to address it. This creates a fascinating, high-stakes dynamic for potential suitors like the Falcons. On one hand, you have a proven commodity, a player who was deemed worthy of $110 million just months ago, a true game wrecker. On the other hand, you're dealing with significant, undeniable question marks about his immediate availability, and perhaps more critically, his long-term durability. It's the ultimate high-risk, high-reward scenario, a roll of the dice that could either catapult Atlanta's defense to new heights or leave them scrambling for alternatives, having invested heavily in a player who might not be ready. Palmer's crucial insight that teams will want to see Wilkins take visits and undergo thorough physicals before making any commitment speaks volumes about the gravity of these health concerns. No franchise wants to repeat what appears to have been the Raiders' costly mistake, whatever the true nature of that misstep might have been. Let's paint a vivid picture of the defensive transformation Christian Wilkins could bring to Atlanta's defense. In Raheem Morris's base 3-4 scheme, Wilkins would slot in as a dominant interior presence, a true force capable of both stopping the run with brute strength and generating consistent, pocket-collapsing pass rush. His ability to push the pocket from the inside would perfectly complement the burgeoning edge-rushing talents of recent draft picks like Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. The Falcons invested heavily in edge rushers during the 2024 draft, clearly signaling their intention to create a more aggressive, attacking defense that lives in opponents' backfields. But here's the critical truth. Edge rushers are only as effective as the interior pressure that forces quarterbacks to step up directly into their path. Wilkins could be the missing catalyst, the linchpin that transforms those significant draft investments from raw potential into devastating, game-changing production. Moreover, with Michael Penix Jr. taking over as the starting quarterback, the Falcons are entering a critical phase where defensive performance could truly make or break their season. A dominant defense could provide the stability, the short fields, and the crucial takeaways that help a young quarterback develop with confidence, while a struggling defense could expose weaknesses and create additional, unnecessary pressure on the offense. From a financial perspective, Wilkins' situation presents a unique and compelling opportunity for shrewd general managers like Terry Fontenot. The defensive tackle's sudden release from Las Vegas likely means he's available at a fraction of his original market value, a steep discount for an elite talent. Teams can now negotiate from a position of strength, especially given the very public health concerns that led to his release. For a Falcons organization that has been methodical, patient, and strategic in their roster construction, this represents the type of calculated gamble that could dramatically accelerate their competitive timeline. Instead of waiting for draft picks to develop over several years or overpaying for lesser talents in a competitive free agency market, they could potentially land an elite, proven player at a significantly discounted rate. The key question, the one that will keep Fontenot and his staff up at night, becomes whether Atlanta is willing to take on the inherent, undeniable risks associated with Wilkins' health status. Given their current, pressing defensive needs and the immense potential upside, it might just be a risk worth taking, a bold move that could pay dividends for years to come. Wilkins' unexpected availability has created a fascinating subplot in the NFL's ongoing narrative, a ripple effect that extends far beyond just two teams. His potential return to Miami adds an intriguing storyline, a homecoming that would undoubtedly ignite the Dolphins' fan base. But Palmer's suggestion that the Falcons have genuine, concrete interest opens up entirely new possibilities, creating a potential bidding war that could ultimately benefit all parties involved, including Wilkins himself. The speed at which Wilkins signs, or doesn't sign, will tell us everything we need to know about both his true health status and his current market value. If teams are truly concerned about his recovery timeline, we might see a prolonged courtship period that extends well into the season, with teams waiting for more definitive health updates. Conversely, if he signs quickly, it could signal that his health concerns are less severe than initially feared, or that a team is simply willing to take a bigger leap of faith. As we stand at this fascinating crossroads, the Atlanta Falcons face a decision that could define their defensive identity for years to come. Christian Wilkins represents everything they need: proven production, elite pass-rushing ability from the interior, and the type of veteran leadership that can elevate an entire defensive unit. He is the missing piece, the final ingredient in a recipe for defensive dominance. But football, like life, rarely offers guarantees. The very same injury concerns that led to his shocking release could unfortunately derail any potential partnership before it even truly begins, transforming a dream scenario into a costly nightmare. The question isn't whether Wilkins can be great. We've already seen that unequivocally. The real, agonizing question is whether he can stay healthy long enough to make a meaningful, consistent impact for his next team. For Falcons fans watching this drama unfold, the anticipation is palpable, almost unbearable. Could this be the move that transforms their defense from adequate to truly elite? Could Wilkins be the missing piece that helps propel Atlanta back to legitimate playoff contention, or even further? The coming weeks will provide the answers, but one thing is certain. In a league where championship windows open and close with frightening speed, opportunities like this to acquire elite talent at a potentially discounted price don't come around often. The Falcons have a chance to add a game-changing talent. The only question remaining is whether they have the courage, the conviction, and the strategic foresight to pull the trigger. So, what do you think? Should the Falcons take the gamble on Christian Wilkins, embracing the high-risk, high-reward scenario for a chance at defensive dominance? Or are the health risks simply too significant to ignore, making it a move that could haunt the franchise? Drop your thoughts, your predictions, and your strategic insights in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious to hear how you'd handle this high-stakes decision if you were running the show in Atlanta. And if this breakdown got you thinking about the wild, unpredictable world of NFL transactions, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button, and let's keep diving deep into the stories that shape our favorite sport.